their hobbies outside of their work life. A man from Great Falls can thank his son for getting him into this hobby, which involves over 30 dogs. MTN's Casey Herman reports.
I'm going to have you open real wide there.
Brett Bruggeman,
You feel that at all?
a Great Falls dentist who specializes in root canals.
You must be a dog sledder.
I'm a musher, that's true.
Also happens to be a musher.
Do about 3 of the mid-distance races, which can be anywhere from 200 to 350 miles. There's not a lot of races around, so it's a lot of training and work for so few races, but you gotta love the training too.
From crossing the finish line last on his first race to the sky 7 years ago.
I was probably way in over my head. We just only had dogs for about 6 months, so I was very unprepared, and the team was unprepared, but we did finish it.
Here comes Brett.
To being this year's winner.
The conditions were tough, but the dogs did great. And we had a nice finish.
But Brett says just being in the race is more important than the outcome.
Winning, that's great too, but it's kind of secondary to running with the dogs.
And quickly approaching in just 2 weeks, the biggest race of them all.
Anywhere from 50 to 80 teams compete in the Iditarod. 1,000-mile sled dog race that starts just out of sight of Anchorage and goes all the way to Nome. It got under my skin, and that's why I'm going back.
Competing for the second year.
Ready to take off on the 2018 Iditarod. You know, I've experienced the trail before. We'll be doing the same route as we did last year, so I know what to expect. That doesn't mean that the unexpected can't happen.
But he's not quitting his day job.
I didn't know what the future held as far as mushing goes.
On the race from Anchorage to Nome, his thoughts will be back at home.
Appreciate Great Falls supporting us.
Hopefully I can represent us well up in Alaska.
In Great Falls, Casey Herman, MTN News.
Brett's dogs are currently on their way to Alaska with their handler, and Brett will join them later this week. The 2019 Iditarod will begin on Saturday, March 2nd.